to access it for if it makes it easier for you to follow along. But yeah, if there are no issues, I'll get started with class. Is my audio okay? Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Yanfei. Yeah, I'll begin class now then. Okay, don't use any offensive language. Okay, so I got the first word up here right now. Yanfei, could you read out this word, its definition, and the example sentence, please?
Her herbivorous adjective,
Okay.
eating only grass and plants, not meat. Any antonym of carnivores,
That
even
says carnivorous, actually.
oh
Carnivorous.
carnivorous,
Yep.
even herbivorous
Yeah.
dinosaurs would have been intimidating by virtue
Virtue.
virtue of their size, though not necessarily their eating habits.
Yeah. Good job, Yanfei. Well done. Thank you. Yeah. So a herbivorous describes something that only eats like plants or things that are like vegetables. We typically describe animals as herbivorous, not usually people. So, as per usual, I'll give everyone 1 minute to write out a sentence using this word, just one sentence, and then I'll go through everyone's submissions. You can all get started. All right, a minute is up. Yeah, thank you, Yanfei and Eric. I'll go over your submissions right now. Okay, I'll just enlarge this before I share again. Okay, looking good. So, Yanfei, you wrote a lot of animals are herbivores. Okay, you did use the wrong word. It is herbivorous, not herbivores. Herbivorous is an adjective and herbivores is a noun that refers to something that eats only grass and plants. I'll just quickly modify this because if you use herbivorous at the end of this sentence, it still makes sense. Yeah, good attempt, Yanfei. Remember to use the right word next time. And Eric, you wrote some dinosaurs are herbivorous. Yeah, good sentence, Eric. Very simple, very straightforward. Well done. Okay, so if there are no more sentences to submit, then I'm going to move on to the next word. Since we got some other people in here, we got more people in here, more students, so I'm going to post the slide deck link again. Yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next word now. All right. Eric, could you read out this word, its definition, and the sentence, please?
Herculean, adjective, strong and powerful, related to, resembling Hercules, daunting, form, formidable,
Yes.
difficult, requiring a great deal of strength, stamina, effort, or resources. The Herculean efforts of the 1969 Mets to win the World Series will go down in baseball history.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Well done. Yeah, Herculean, it's an adjective describing something as strong or powerful, lots of effort, lots of strength. Yeah, I'll give you all 1 minute once again to write out one sentence using this word. Yeah, you can all get started now. Okay, 1 minute is up, everyone. Hey, thank you. I got a submission from Yanfei. Thank you. Okay, so Yanfei, you wrote, digging the canal was a Herculean task. Yeah, very creative use of the word. Excellent. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think I need to modify anything in this sentence. It was written well. It works in context, though I don't think you need to capitalize Herculean, despite the fact that it is named after the Greek legend. Yeah, you could use Herculean with a lowercase h at the start. So, does anyone else have a sentence to submit? All right, in that case, I'm going to move on to the next word. Okay, Yutang, could you read out this word, its definition in the example sentence, please? You can't see the screen? Uh-oh. Okay, that might be an issue. Can anyone else see the screen? Hmm, this is strange. Okay, can you see the screen now? Hmm, yeah, that's a little weird. Okay, anyone else? Can anyone else not see the screen? It should be visible according to what the software is telling me. You could see now? Okay, great. That's a relief. So if you could see, could you read out this word, its definition, and the example sentence, please?
Heterogeneous, consisting of unrelated parts or elements, different and non-related, while admissions office is to admit many students with similar profiles. A college is a heterogeneous and diverse community.
All right. Thank you, Yutang. Yeah, apologies for the issues with the screen. I'm not really sure what happened. Good thing, but it's good that you can see it now. So yeah, heterogeneous means it's made up of things that are not related or alike to each other, or it describes something as different and not related. So I'll give you, once again, 1 minute to write out one sentence using this word. You can all get started. Okay, 1 minute is up. Thank you, Yanfei and Eric. Oh, thank you, Yutang, as well. I'll go over all of your submissions. I'll try to get through it quickly. All right. It's looking good. So, Yanfei, you wrote support for heterogeneous environments. I'm a little confused at this sentence. You probably forgot to start it off properly. So I would say we will provide support for heterogeneous environments. That's a way we could start it up. Not sure if you simply forgot to add something to the start or not, but yeah, I figured I should add something there to make the sentence seem more proper. Eric, you did use heterogeneous well, though. Eric, you wrote, the random mixture my friend made is a heterogeneous concoction. Yeah, good use of the word heterogeneous. Nothing I need to modify here either. Yeah, you're all using the words great. And Yutai, you wrote, the conference showcased a heterogeneous group of speakers, each bringing unique perspectives from various fields of research. Yeah, great use of the word heterogeneous. Great sentence, Yutang. Very complex and a very creative application of the word. Yeah, well done, everyone. Okay, so I'll just move on to the next word here. Hmm. Okay, yeah. Yanfei, if you could see the screen, can you read out the word, its definition, and the example sentence, please?
Heyday, noun, the time of someone's or something's greatest popularity, success, or power. While it was thought that the 1960s were the heyday of the bell bottom, this fashion trend seems to make a rev, rev, Rev
Revival.
revival today.
Yeah, great work, Yanfei. Thank you. Make sure you are reading all the words in the sentence because I do notice you skipped a couple of smaller words. But yeah, great job. Definition's pretty straightforward. I'll let you guys get started immediately. 1 minute to write one sentence. You can all begin. Okay. A minute is up, everyone. When you finish your sentence, please post it. Please send it to me in the chat. Thank you, Yutang. Just label this as yours. Okay. Mm-mm. Looking good. So you wrote, during its heyday, the festival attracted thousands of visitors each year, celebrating local culture and traditions. Yeah, you use heyday well here. Sentence structure for that long sentence is really good. Yeah, nothing I need to edit here. Well done. Okay, thank you, Eric, and thank you, Yanfei. Hey, Eric, you wrote memes all have a heyday time before people forget about them. Okay, yeah, great use of the word heyday, though instead of saying memes all have a heyday time, I'll quickly edit that. You could just say memes all have a heyday before people forget about them. You don't really need to say time. Other than that, great job. Yanfei, you wrote today is the office's heyday. Yep, very simple sentence, very straightforward, but use the word heyday well and it makes sense. Great job. Yeah, you're all understanding the words quite well. Excellent. Looking good. All right. Eric, could you read out this word, its definition, and the sentence, please?
Hiatus, noun, a break in something where there should be continuity, an interruption or gap. After this refusal to submit the draft and his long hiatus from boxing, Muhammad Ali returned to the ring and won back the heavyweight title.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Eric. Yeah, think of this word as just a different way of saying a very long break, like taking a hiatus from playing piano, taking a hiatus from a sport, something like that. Like taking a very long break from it, not playing it for a while, for example. So 1 minute, one sentence using this word. I'll let you all begin. Okay, a minute is up, everyone. When you're finished your sentence, please send it to me. Okay, thank you, Yanfei, and thank you, Eric, and thank you, Yutang. 1 second. Give me a moment, everyone. Okay, all of this is looking good. So, uh, Yanfei, you wrote, after the war, the man really needed a hissus break. Okay, so first I'm going to add a comma because you're separating in order to introduce that new clause. So after the war, comma, the man really needed a hiatus. So needed a hiatus. And if you're using the word hiatus, it already describes a long break. So using break here, it's redundant. It's not necessary. Good job, though. Eric, you wrote, when watching a YouTube video, a hiatus ad can pop up. Okay, I see what you're trying to say here. But I would say instead, so ad doesn't need two D's, first of all. And I would relocate your use of hiatus. So, and also you should say an ad. Oh, no, sorry. Since I modify the sentence, I'm adding n. An ad can pop up and cause a hiatus from your video watching, something like that. Good attempt, though. Yutang, you wrote, after a brief hiatus, the festival returned with renewed enthusiasm, once again celebrating local culture and traditions. Yep, great use of the word hiatus. Very creative sentence. Nothing I need to edit once again from you. Yeah, well done. Awesome. You all get the idea of how to use this word, and I think that's the most important thing. Yeah, splendid. Okay, Yutang, could you read out this word, its definition in the sentence, please? Oh, are you having trouble seeing the screen again?
Hierarchy, an
Oh,
organization
okay, good.
with members arranged by ranks in order of seniority or power, categorization by order of importance or status. A normal chain of command originally referred to the division of angels into ranks. The military hierarchy is clear and obvious by title and uniform.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Yutang. I was a little worried that something happened with my end of the screen again. Sorry about that. But yeah, hierarchy, a little pretty complex word. It just means like an organization of people that are arranged by ranks or status. So like higher ranking to lower ranking, for example. 1 minute to write out one sentence using the word. You can all start. Alright. Time's up, everyone. Thank you, Yanfei. Got another sentence too. 1 second. Thank you, Yutang. Hey, great. So, Yanfei, you wrote, such a hierarchy may also exist in plants. Okay, good sentence, Yanfei. I believe you are describing, not sure what type of hierarchy you're describing, but it is a good sentence. It just needed a little bit of, just feel like if it's a standalone sentence, it should require some context to it. So, for example, such a hierarchy, maybe we could say that pertains to evolution, for example. Yeah, if it's a standalone sentence, I recommend putting some context in it. Yeah, good use of the word hierarchy anyway. Yutang, you wrote, in the corporate world, a clear hierarchy helps to define roles and responsibilities, ensuring that each team member understands their place in the organization. Yep, great use of the word. Good sentence. Nothing I need to edit here. Yeah, well done, Yutang. Okay, so if there's no more sentences to be submitted, I'm going to move on to the next word post haste. All right, unfortunately, I'm going to need to move on to the next word. All right, Yanfei, could you read out this word, its definition, and the sentence, please?
And state, noun, the relation or analyst of an event
Analysis.
analysis of
Mhm.
an event after it has happened. Perception of the past in retrospect.
Mhm.
Hindsight is 2020, and lessons learned by analyzing history should pro-
True.
prove valuable when planning for the future.
Awesome. Thank you, Yanfei. Yeah, the pronunciation's a little confusing because of the way it's written, but it is pronounced hindsight, not hindsight. It's confusing. Don't worry about it. But for future reference, it's hindsight. Yeah, a little bit of a tricky word to use. So it just refers to the realization of something after it occurred. That's the best way you could really describe it. 1 minute to write out one sentence using this word. You can all begin. Okay, time's up, everyone. If you're finishing up your sentence, please post it or send it to me when you're done. Okay, thank you, Eric. And Yutang and Yanfei. Give me a moment. Hey, here's what you all wrote. Thank you. Okay, so Eric, you wrote hindsight attempts are tried because you want to learn from your mistakes. Okay, first off, this should be a period. Second off, I'm a little bit confused at what this sentence is supposed to mean. Hindsight attempts are. So, yeah, I'm a little bit confused at what this sentence is trying to say. For the sake of time, I won't get into it at the moment. Maybe later if there's time. Sorry, the screen was paused, but yeah, I'm a little bit confused at what you were trying to say in this sentence. Yanfei, you wrote, with hindsight, we've all do things differently. Okay, this is a good use of the word hindsight, but the rest of the sentence doesn't make too much sense, so we can modify some of the words to make it make more sense. All right, so I would say with hindsight, we would all do things differently. Yeah, that's how I would modify it. Great job, though. And Yutang, you wrote, in hindsight, I realized that I could have approached the project differently to achieve better results. Yeah, good use of the word hindsight. Good sentence, though I would say realized instead of realize. Okay, yeah. So, Eric, your sentence is a little bit confusing to understand, but if you are still confused, you can look at these two sentences. They use the word hindsight quite well. Yeah, it is a tricky word. I understand that you were a little confused by it. Don't worry about it. Okay. And now, Eric, I'd like you to read this word, its definition, and the example sentence, please.
Histrionic, now, overdramatic in the actual behavior. Theoretically, related to acting for actors. The the histrionic associated with two adult
Adolescence.
adolescents breaking up. It's hard for adults to deal with.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Eric. Well done. Yeah. As a noun, histrionic refers to exaggerated dramatic behavior. That's what it means as a noun. Now, I would like you to use it as a noun, not as an adjective. It sounds like an adjective, but you could use it as a noun as well. So try to use it as a noun. 1 minute for one sentence, everyone. You can all get started. All right, time's up, everyone. Thank you, Eric. Okay, I'll go over the rest of the submissions after. Eric, you wrote, histrionics are sometimes hard to watch. Yep, great sentence. Makes sense. Good use of the word histrionics. Again, it makes sense in context. Okay, thank you, Yanfei. Oops. You wrote his actors are sometimes histrionic. Okay, yeah, I see what you did here. You used it as an adjective, though I wanted you to use it as a noun. So to make this make a little more sense, you could say actors sometimes perform histrionics. Perform histrionics. That way we could use histrionics as a noun while keeping the structure of your sentence. Again, make sure that you're using the word as the type that is described. Okay, thank you, Yutang. You wrote, her histrionic reaction to the minor setback caught everyone off guard as they expected a more measured response. Okay, yep. Good job, Yutang, though you did have the same issue as Yanfei. You use histrionic as an adjective when I asked you to use it as a noun. I get the confusion with like the comparing the definition to the type of word. So I would just say her histrionics. We could just change it to that. And then say here in response to the minor setback caught everyone off guard. Yeah, we could easily fix it like that. Yeah, well done, everyone. Good attempts all around. You guys do understand how to use histrionic as an adjective, though it was indicated here that it should be used as a noun. But it doesn't take much modification to change the use of histrionic to histrionics from an adjective to a noun. Yeah, good stuff anyway. All right. Yutang, I'd like you to read out this word, its definition, and the example sentence, please.
HIV, acronym for human immunodeficiency virus, refers to a retrovirus that destroys the immune system and causes AIDS. Acquired immune deficiency syndrome. Although we are working hard to discover a cure for HIV, we must continue to be careful about sexually transmitted disease.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Yutang. Yeah, so HIV is an acronym that defines this virus written out here. So 1 minute to write out one sentence using this word. You can get started. Okay, time's up, everyone. Please post your sentence in the chat now. All right, got one submission. Thank you, Yutang. Hey, I'll go over the other sentence in a bit. Yeah, well done. Yutang, you wrote, health education and early intervention are crucial in the fight against HIV. Excellent sentence, Yutang. Great use of that acronym. Everything makes sense. Well done. Thank you, Yanfei. You wrote, there is no vaccine against HIV. Okay, don't forget the period at the end of your sentence. Other than that, great job. Use the word the acronym HIV very well. Everything makes sense in context. Yeah, awesome. And if there's nothing more for you guys, if there are no more submissions, I will move on to our last word. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Here's our last word of the day. Yanfei, could you read out this word, its definition, in the example sentence, please?
Hawks or to someone into believing something is real when it's not. The hoaxed us by burying false fossils in the old excavation site.
Okay, great job. Great job, Yanfei. Nice. Yeah, this pronunciation is a little strange too. It should be hoax. It should be read out as hoax, not hawks. Again, not your fault. It's just the way that the pronunciation is written out. But it is pronounced hoax for future use of the word. Good job, though. Yeah, 1 minute to write out one sentence using this word. Remember to use hoax as a verb, as in I'm going to hoax someone. And yeah, you can get started. All right, time's up, everyone. Thank you, Yutang and Yanfei. Okay, I'll go over. Well, actually, I'll paste it right now. Thank you, Eric. Super tiny. Okay, looking good. Yutang, you wrote, the elaborate scheme turned out to be a hoax designed to trick people into donating money for a non-existent charity. Yeah, this is a good use of the word hoax as a noun, though I did indicate that I would have liked to see you use it as a verb. So, to modify this, I could say the elaborate scheme turned out to be, I'll add a comma here actually, to a hoax, as someone hoaxed people. Someone hoaxed people into donating money for a non-existent charity. And to avoid repetition, we could keep hoax here as a noun, but to avoid some unnecessary repetition, we could instead say it turned out to be a scam. Yeah, good attempt, Yutang. It was a good use of the word hoax as a noun, though, but I would have liked to see you use it as a verb. Yanfei, you wrote April Fools is a good day to hoax people. Yep, great use of the word hoax as a verb. Everything, it makes sense in context too. Good sentence. And Eric, you wrote, it turned out to be a hoax, but it seemed really true. Yep, this is a good use of the word hoax as a noun, but again, I wanted you guys to use the word hoax as a verb. So we could modify this by writing something like this. It turned out I was being hoaxed, comma, but what but we could write instead of it, but what they said seemed really true. Yeah. Anyway, great job, Eric. Used hoax as a noun well, but I would have liked to see you use it as a verb. So remember the type of word that is indicated to the right of the pronunciation for next time. And I would like you guys to use the word like that. So if it's a noun, if it says noun, use it as a noun. If it says verb, use it as a verb. If it says adjective, use it as an adjective. Yeah, great work, everyone. You all did well today. You all participated a lot and you wrote good sentences. Yeah, awesome. Remember to try to use some of these words in your day-to-day conversation when you can, or try to learn new words each day to help increase your English vocabulary level. And I'll end off class here. So have a great rest of your day, everyone, and I'll see you all next weekend.